another video. Recently we had a ruling come out about Bardock the Resolute and how it worked with just regular damage, and I've been testing a lot of red, trying to see what can stick, trying to see what's good, and I've discovered a deck that fits roughly in that tier 2 setting that can be really aggressive within red and just gives you that kind of like classic mono red aggro feel with a leader that everyone has always really liked but just never saw a ton of play just due to how pigeonholed the leader used to be. Whereas like now with introductions of Unisons, with the introduction of this new card, you kind of get some really unique synergies that works in your favor to kind of provide you a lot. And honestly, it all starts with just being a deck that kind of plays on curve. And that's one of the things that I'd say is the downside of this deck. What makes this deck not tier 1 is the fact that you have to be on curve in order to make the game plan work for you. So what's nice here, and the obvious synergy, is that going first or going second whenever, your leader ability, making your opponent take a damage, will automatically trigger your Bardock the Resolute, which is kind of dope. And so what I like to do, and the way this deck likes to curve out, is turn 1, being able to present this board state on the first turn of the game is just incredibly powerful. You will now next turn have your leader swing, a Bardock swing, a Kaba swing, plus your turn 2 play, which in this instance our turn 2 play is going to be Gotenks Unison of Rage to get that self-awakening. So our opponent goes, whether if they attack, they don't attack, let's say they don't, because they're afraid that we'll awaken, we'll draw a card for the turn, play a Gotenks Unison of Rage. And what's cool about this Unison is the +1 and the auto, right? So when you +1, you give your leader minus 5,000, but you're going to give it plus 10,000 since you minused it. So that means that you're just basically getting 5k pumped to your leader. So the more I play with this card, the better I like it. So on this turn here, there's a few options. Your opponent is currently sitting at 7 life. So you want to make sure that you can trigger this with they're at 5. So, and then, but you also want to get yourself awakening. So let's say we swing here, put our opponent down to 5 with our Kaba. Then leader, mill 2, take a life, put them to 4. Then Gotenks skill, plus take a life. Then we get to awaken. And the draw 2 on awaken, actually really relevant. So I'm a huge fan of that, and plus you get that 5k pump now. And then here, the only thing that can be awkward at sometimes is because you want to make sure you have 5 cards in your drop area to trigger. So we can just combo a card on the swing, go to 20. You then have this swing here, then you have your leader swing. And so already you're presenting a lot of damage and a lot of pressure on the opponent. You have a Unison in play on turn 2, and then now you have a board state that your opponent has to deal with. And then what we're going to be playing for over the course of the game is on turn 3, you're going to have access to either Sin Shenron, or we're going to continue doing a lot more of the same. You're going to leave your Topo up, you're going to leave up your Yamcha Merciless Barrage, and then you have some synergies here. So for instance, you know, let's say your opponent tries to attack you, you play 2 Nappa super combos, you go back to your turn, and then let's say they didn't deal with anything. We'll make a simple charge of this, play a Fearless Pan, and then now everything's boosted. So this deck is, like I said, it's a really low to the ground, curve out deck, but the way we're going to finish the game is with some of the deflect threats. We're going to finish the game with Triple Flash, because one thing that's been really noticeable in this format is just in general how good deflect threats are. And so the reason why I thought behind, like, the thought process of going with this route and playing this leader, this strategy, this archetype is, number one, your leader being able to pressure them without having to swing. And then when you do swing, it's almost like you're getting double strike early, which has always been impactful. But then you're getting the ability to play this free double striker. And so what this deck is really good at is just getting Unisons off the board fast. And why that's good is you can get around your opponent's removal effects that can happen just for free, like their Frieza, Charismatic Villain, etc. So we're going to be playing the game, since we're playing 4 Topos, 4 Wolfang Fists, we're playing to either kill them early or get to the 5th turn so we can play our untap power, which people forget about this card, but this card's great. So 3 red, 1 if you want to evolve, but otherwise you pay 5, you get to untap 1, get plus 5,000, and draw a card so you can trip. You untap that energy, you go into your Triple Flash, which obviously everyone knows is probably one of my favorite finishers ever to be printed in this game. So then now you have this where it says once you go up to, you know, 40k, your opponent can't activate counters during battles where this card's involved. So you basically here use your leader skill, which has Activate Main, Sparking 7. You're going to pitch 3 cards to be able to get all of your red or green battle cards plus 10,000 for the turn. So this is going to pump you 5. You're going to get plus 10 for your leader. And then now you have a 45k triple striker that can't be negated to help you close out the game. So really cool deck. So let me go into the full deck profile for you guys. Here is the list. We're playing 7 Unisons total, and this could be messed around with. 6 or 7 is the number I'd like to stay between, and I'm really liking Gotank's Unison of Rage for this aggressive strategy, being able to get yourself that early awaken to put the pressure on, and then also just that pump. It makes a difference. And then you have the -2. Choose one of your leader cards, it gets -5,000 for the turn. Then look at your opponent's hand, choose up to 1 multicolor battle card or battle card with 10,000 power or less, and place it in the center drop area. So you can grab any multicolor card, or you can grab any regular battle card with 10,000 power or less, you discard it. So this is great for getting rid of those super combos, great for getting rid of, you know, anything that you're afraid of. And then what's cool is if you ever need to play like a more mid-range route, you can play this on 2, plus it. Then if your opponent takes a counter off of it, -2 it on your turn instead of keeping it around, and then play a Sin Shenron after it, and then now you can do another discard effect if you want, or you can just play that more mid-range game that Sin Shenron lets you. Then we're playing 3 Freeze's Death Ball. This is just a really important card right now in this format. It's great removal, great way to defend yourself. Being able to give yourself plus 15,000 and then -10ing a leader or a battle card is just very strong. Then we're playing 3 Saiyan Kaba because double strike effects are probably some of the most important effects in the game. 4 Wolfang Fist. Free negates are the best negates. You know, even though it's not a negate, being able to minus something by 15k is more than likely going to be able to stop an attack for you or get some removal. 4 Videl, Gohan's partner. That's another reason why I wanted to play Gohan, is because you just get the free blocker, which blockers in this format are so good because they allow you to protect your Unison. They're a resource that can just be on board that allows you just to accrue advantage because you can just block an attack that you're afraid of. In general, I love just having a free blocker in the deck, and it has some synergy where if you play it for free, you get the ability to pump it with your leader on the backside, and you can make it a 15k. And with Fearless Pan, it becomes now, you know, a 15 plus 5 becomes a 20k double striker just for existing, which is pretty dope. 4 Nappa super combo because it has synergy with your leader skill as well as Fearless Pan. Getting it into play, being able to pump it, have it as an attacker, or just as a second combo, very good. 4 Bardock the Resolute, kind of the glue that pulls all this together and makes this deck more competitive than it should be. Opening this on the first turn of the game, being able to make your opponent take a life, and then now they realize that there's a 15k double striker they have to deal with is so strong. 2 Bodyguard Legic, it's if your opponent ever goes first against you, just you getting that value of the Bodyguard Legic on the board early, very powerful. 3 Fearless Pan, same reasoning, just being able to get this out with your wide board state and then punish your opponent with huge double strike attackers with your leader skill. Card's awesome. It's a classic, a throwback. 4 Yamcha Merciless Barrage. You're going to want the free counterplay. You're going to be able to get the body on the board. And like I said, any body you get to stick just makes your leader ability and your Fearless Pan so much better. So that's the reason why we're just playing all these free effects. 4 Topa Righteous Aid, arguably the best negate. 4 Untapped Power, SS3 Son Goku, and 3 Triple Flash. So this is going to be your late game win condition. So I like this deck because it has that like early aggression, good mid-range in the middle, and then has a great closer at the end of the game and can deal with Unisons early. And then our Secret Rare, right now I'm testing Dragon Ball's Negative Energy Overflow because since you're a burst leader, you're going to be able to get to that requirement relatively fast. So if you ever fall behind, you can kind of put yourself at parity. And plus, I really do not like the Frieza right now because everyone is playing so many negates that, you know, if you use the Frieza, you play it, you look at your opponent's hand, you know, you're not going to be able to kill them with the card, and then you're putting yourself at risk for tapping 5. So I'd rather just have the sure thing in getting rid of their Unison, playing Untapped Power, going into Triple Flash and winning the game that way. So deck has a ton of synergy. It's really cool. Gohan is one of my favorite characters. I've always loved this leader just because free damage is the best kind of damage. But this is the deck. This is mono red aggro. This is Gohan. This is a solid tier 2 deck. I think if it was more consistent, if you could guarantee you always had Bardock, your start of Bardock the Resolute, Kaba, and turn 2 Gotenks, then I think the deck could be like tier 1.5, tier like not tier 1, but definitely tier 1.5. But in general, the deck's really cool. It's fun to play. It gives you that like old like aggro feel, and then just like having a great top end finish is so cool. And then I think what you like about this deck is you're gonna pick up how Red has to look going forward to deal with this new metagame, to deal with this new format and these Unison cards. So I think you'll pick up a lot of things from playing this deck, and that's probably the best thing about it, is you're going to learn something that you can just take forward to the next deck you build. But in general, if you're looking to play this leader, if you're looking to play a solid, you know, aggressive strategy right now, this is a good place to start outside of Vegex. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching the video. Thank you for supporting the channel. If you get a chance, haven't yet, make sure you subscribe, make sure you share, make sure you turn on your notifications. Make sure you check out the Patreon if you're looking for content on a weekly basis that helps you improve your game. But as always, hashtag Scrub Fam is best fam. K thanks. Bye!